Welcome to a new video. Today we are visiting one of the most exclusive garage houses you could possibly ever find in Japan. And it's not so much the house itself, but the location it sits in. And this car behind me will probably give away where we're actually at. This is something very, very special. We'll come to this later on. But in the meantime, I wanted to walk through the villa and show you what this special garage home is all about. So without further ado, let's walk in and take a look. So we're currently in the middle of some very rural mountains here in Chiba. You may have already figured out the location, but to do something different, I wanted to show you a different angle to this place and mainly concentrate on the home itself, because it doesn't really get much more special than this.
The Magarigawa Club is the first members-only luxury driving resort to ever be built in Japan, nestled deep in the lush countryside of the Chiba Peninsula, about a 90-minute drive from central Tokyo. The company behind this massive undertaking is Corns, a huge trading company with a history spanning back 164 years, but to most people, well known for being the longtime Ferrari importer into Japan. Designed by Herman Tilke, who is behind most of the F1 circuits like Sepang, Yas Marina, Bahrain and Fuji Speedway to name a few, was tasked to pen a 3.5 kilometer long circuit at Magarigawa, taking full advantage of the unique land layout and elevation changes. And it's indeed the latter that impresses the most, with 250 meters difference between the lowest and highest part of the track, making it a true rollercoaster ride. But Magarigawa is so much more than just a circuit. It's a beautifully designed and crafted luxury resort, with top-of-the-line facilities there to be enjoyed by the high-profile club members.
So as we walk towards the main entrance here, we pass a nice little water feature. But the thing about this home, it's not going to be the craziest house you've ever seen, but it's pretty much all about the location. And to get a good idea of that, we have to walk inside. And as the sun is just about to set, we're going to walk out here and take a look at this view. This is Magarigawa, and we are currently in one of the biggest villas that you can rent out here, giving you an idea of what car guys at this level can actually experience. So we're basically nestled in this mountain that's been taken over by the developers that created Magarigawa Club. They dug out enough space to create a luxurious club, and at the same time, all around it, this insane track. One of the most technical tracks that I've ever driven. I've had the pleasure to drive here once before, in the wet. It was a bit scary, but as you'll see, it is one hell of a layout created to give, people that really appreciate driving some technical challenges, because it really is quite a tough track to get used to. There's a lot of elevation changes, there's a lot of blind corners, and you come away from an experience like this so satisfied, knowing that you have places like this to come and relax after a day out on track. And you can kind of get an idea for the elevation changes when you come down to the corner here of the terrace. You actually see the biggest villa available here for rent, and right behind it, kind of like a corkscrew type corner, giving you an idea of the crazy elevation changes here at Magarigawa. But having seen the track, let's head inside and have a look at what you and your guests are able to experience when you rent one of these amazing villas. All right, and I'm not really trying to kind of highlight this as an ad or anything. This is truly mind-blowing for me to even be here and get to see this, you know, from my perspective. This place is basically laid out on 2 levels. We're on the top level now, so it's a massive kind of living room, dining room, kitchen space. And the way it's designed and laid out is absolutely amazing, right down to the textured concrete here that kind of highlights the wood grain. We actually saw this at Go-san's house back a few months ago when we visited his amazing garage house space. Over here is the kitchen area, so you can come here, cook, or use the restaurant here at the club. So this lounge area here is super nice, really comfortable sofas laid out, big TV, kind of like a little heat feature here to keep you warm. But you can't forget the fact that if you look towards the windows, you have this amazing view of the track. And especially right now as the sun sets over the hills, it's an extra special kind of atmosphere. Really is something I've never witnessed before. So like I said, there's a little area here for 6 to 8 people to sit down, have a meal, kitchen, everything you would ever need to stay entertained and comfortable in your time here at Magarigawa. And with that said, let's go downstairs and check out the bedrooms. So think about Magarigawa as an all-inclusive resort. So you do have these amazing villas that you can rent, but there's always the club right across the street here where you can have access to all the facilities. There's a pool, there's an onsen, there's a restaurant, bar, everything you would ever need to keep you and your family entertained. All right, let's head down to the bedroom area. And you can see everywhere you end up looking at the track somehow. Really nice window space here. You can kind of see how they dug this entire place out of a mountain here. They've left some of the rocks and the natural kind of trees and bushes just to kind of give the impression that you're literally in the middle of nature. And they've managed to do that really well, I think. The way the architecture is designed and everything is laid out, it really is quite a special place. All right, so we are in the main corridor here. This is the access to all 3 bedrooms. We'll take a look at the biggest one here. This is the master. And as you can see, there's a massive terrace that you can go and look at the track, just like the upstairs. All right, so we are now heading into the remaining 2 bedrooms. This house is for 6 people, so there's 2 more beds in each of the smaller rooms. And again, you still have access to the main terrace, so you can enjoy those amazing views. And we'll head into bedroom number 3, much the same. And again, just like the other one, access into the terrace. And you gotta enjoy the decor as well with the Louis Vuitton classic posters. Such a special place. And again, can you imagine waking up in a bedroom like this, looking out and hearing all the crazy cars we saw in the garage being driven hard on track? You can head out here onto the terrace and enjoy your morning coffee, looking at some amazing cars being driven pretty hard. So this is one of 6 available villas. You can see the rest right next door here on the kind of edge of the cliff. And they actually do plan to build more. There's a lot of demand. So in the next few years, I'm sure more of these kind of properties will prop up. And from this perspective, you actually realize just how big Magarigawa is. Like even that hill over there is all part of the track. It's all being cut to allow space for the track to kind of flow through, and all the buildings around us. This is a massive place, literally have taken over an entire mountain. And part of the balcony area is also the bathroom. You can have a Japanese traditional onsen right here while enjoying the same views as the rest of the terrace. All right, that's a quick view of the actual villa. Now it's time to go and check out what we're really here for, and that's a very special Porsche sitting outside.
Think of it as Japan's version of a Ascari club in Spain. The circuit laid out around the main club house, and the covered pits that look more like a living room, which cars can be driven into, than a pit lane at a racetrack. There, you and your family or guests can enjoy a top-class restaurant, bar with cigar room, a fully equipped gym, hot springs, and even a kids room to keep the little ones entertained. There's even a simulator room where Alec and I ended up spending a rather long amount of time in. On top of the facility, there's a selection of villas that are up for rent and a vast storage facility you can keep your cars in, climate controlled and with a fully equipped workshop where regular maintenance packages are offered. But it's the track that we all want to hear more about. Luckily enough, a good friend of mine has been a member of Magarigawa since its opening, so I've already had the chance to drive and experience the circuit fully. However, this time round, Renncurator invited me to not only check out his ProDrive P25, which you would have already seen a video on, but this other track toy, one of the 30 Porsche's GT2 Clubsport 25s.
Alright, so we are outside the villa and this is exactly what I wanted to concentrate on. This is something extremely special. Only 30 of these cars have been built. This is the Manthey Racing GT2 RS Clubsport 25. Only 30 made, and we get to take a look at this very special car that's been shipped here to Japan from Hong Kong and kind of have a look at all the details, find out what it's all about. But before we do the walk around, I actually got to ride in this car today and do a whole few laps of Magarigawa. So let's take a look at that. Damn. This is gonna be insane.
There's aircon though.
There's aircon? Oh man, beautiful. Love this car. These are the brave buttons. TC off, ESC off.
The 991 GT2 RS Clubsport based track-only project was built in collaboration between Porsche and Manthey Racing to celebrate Manthey's 25th anniversary in style. And what better way to describe it than a wide-body beast, more race car than street car, packing 700 horsepower and enough mid-range torque to teleport you out of any corner. My few laps out on track sitting shotgun with Renncurator summed up the car perfectly. A monumental amount of neck-snapping grip from the race slicks, which allows you to safely tap into the infinite reserves of power safely. The most impressive aspect was how Manthey managed to make the PDK transmission feel like a sequential. The actuation is snappier and faster, and the engagement is more aggressive and rewarding. While the 620,000 sticker price will make your eyes water, it is the best track day toy you could possibly want, always ready to go with a turn of a key, and not as finicky as a race car. And while it was fun around Magarigawa, it would feel much more at home at bigger tracks like Fuji Speedway, for example.
As you can see, it doesn't have much steering lock. We're basically just moving it to the actual pits here in Magarigawa, so we have a little bit more light to do the walk around and take a look at this crazy thing in detail. Just look at this place. If there was a paradise for car guys, this would be it. I mean, I can't really imagine anything better than this. A whole club dedicated to people enjoying cars in all safety of a racetrack, professionally designed and laid out like you wouldn't believe. Let's walk up to the pits and take a look. All right, so we've moved the car in front of the main entrance here at Magarigawa, just because it's a beautiful sunset and we want to take advantage of the light to get that exterior to really pop. So what is this car all about? Well, like I mentioned, it's a track day special. You cannot register this car on the road, of course. This is a full-blown race car. And for those that really do enjoy driving on track, it runs on proper slicks, pretty much what you would find on a cup car or RSR. You can see the massive sidewall on those Michelin slicks. The car has been wide-bodied quite dramatically, especially if you take a look from the back here. It has a bolted-on panel that you can see where it matches up on the pillar there, bolted down with 3 bolts, and it creates this insanely massive air intake to feed the intercoolers back here. Aerodynamics are really well cared for here, starting off with this gigantic rear wing. You can see the swan neck. Wing stays adjustable in various positions. The carbon fiber panel there covering the engine with 2 built-in air intakes, feeding even more air down to the twin turbo motor. This has been modified. It does develop slightly more than a base GT2 RS, over 700 horsepower. Massive center exit exhausts here. Full roll cage, and we'll take a better look inside the pits once we get a little bit more light, but just wanted to show you guys just how meticulously Manthey Racing built this thing. You can see how the front fenders have been widened, creating that extra gap there, allowing for air to exit the wheel arches with these massive openings here. Radiator up the front with this vented hood allows a lot of air to be dissipated from the core. You got your fuel filler there, and just look at this thing. This is probably the most imposing Porsche 911 out there right now. So this thing is all carbon fiber. They've tried to keep the weight in check, of course, and I just can't get over all the aero treatments. This is literally like a 911 GT2 RS on steroids. Everywhere you look, there's exaggerated body panels, venting, and carbon fiber used pretty much right across. And that goes right down to the mirrors. Just look at the design of these things. Kind of recreating that swan neck look with the stays there. Absolutely wild. And all the fluorescent yellow highlights, even right onto the spokes of the wheels. But with that said, I think we should take it inside, have a look at the interior. So like I mentioned, we're going to be moving the car inside the pit, so we can actually start looking more at the whole structure here at Magarigawa Club. Starting with the covered paddock. I think the whole concept of having and nicely laid out. I mean, it's almost like a living room. It's not really a paddock. It's basically a living room where you're able to drive your cars inside and out. Basically, the cars that are stored here in a facility down the road are brought up here, ready to go, oil change, tires ready to roll, and customers arrive, they rent their rooms, and in the morning they have their cars ready in the covered paddock, ready to take out on track. And once they come back, they can enjoy the rest of the facility. It's such a well-structured club. Kind of want to give you an idea of what you can experience if you do actually become a member here, or dream to become a member, because this, of course, is very much a dream for the majority of us. But I'm so happy that I've been given this chance to not only feature this amazing car, but see Magarigawa from kind of a club member perspective. So we are in that covered paddock I just mentioned, and we positioned the Porsche right inside here, and we can kind of see some of the other member cars. We're not going to go close to them. Privacy is very important here, but one car we can show you is another car from Hong Kong. This is something extremely special. This is an NA1 NSX converted to the NA2 headlights, but fully modified. And when I mean modified, I mean really modified. Check out those velocity stacks on that 3-liter. Absolutely wild. Lots of carbon, rear wing. But if we get lucky, we'll be able to do a video on this car later on in the year, if the owner allows, but at least we can show it. So with that scene, it's back to the crazy GT2 RS from Manthey Racing. This thing looks absolutely wild wherever you put it. It is an absolute work of art, and I just have to do a quick walk around just to show you guys the proportion of this thing. It sits so wide. Possibly one of the craziest 911s ever created. So like I mentioned, the reason we brought it inside here is so we can have a bit more light to show you guys the cabin. It's pretty cramped in here. Of course, this is fully race car like interior. You can see the massive roll cage. I had a ton of issues getting into the passenger side, mainly because this crossbar here was kind of blocking my second leg from clearing and getting in there, but I finally got in there and had the chance to experience this, and I'll just say right now it's one of the wildest cars that I've been in. Wasn't driven quite hard because it was kind of like a parade lap, but still I got to kind of experience it and feel what it's all about. So they've actually used the GT3 RS cup doors here. You can see all carbon fiber construction. They have this massive indent here to clear the roll cage, which kind of curves outwards with this crossbar here plated off, so that if you do have a serious accident, you're well protected. Crazy Recaro bucket seats, very, very tight, and pretty much a cup car minus the actual transmission. And that's because they've actually maintained the dual clutch transmission on this one. They have remapped it and done something with it because it feels more of a race car gearbox than anything, but the shifts are so smooth, just like you would expect any DSG to be. But my God, what an absolute crazy machine this is. All right, back here you can see how the rear section of the roll cage attaches to the chassis and all the intricacies of the race car layout. You can see all the fire suppressant there and that massive pipe feeding a little tank. And to get an idea of that, you have to come around this side, and you can see it's got this little billet cap, GT2 RS Clubsport, distilled water only. This is actually for the automated intercooler sprays that the car runs. So it sprays on these massive coolers at the back to keep the temperatures low for the intake. You got the air lines here for the gas struts, and over on this side there is a built-in sensor for the lap timer. All right, I'm over on the right side front wheel and tire setup. You can see how it runs BBS race wheels and massive Brembo brake calipers. These are actually kind of like compact 6-spot race calipers with very thick endurance pads, and of course the Pilot Sport slicks. At the back here you can see how the chunkiness of the tire really does set the car off so nicely. It's actually a 57-71-18 tire, and the 4 pots here are the same kind of model race endurance brake pads and calipers. Incredible car and equally incredible space. I mean, this whole paddock area is just insane, and the way they lay it out, each pit has 2 nice sofa chairs, a table, so you can pretty much take out everything you have in your car, dump it here, and get ready for your track day. Park your car here. You have the timing on the TVs here, so you can keep a tab on what people are doing on the day time-wise, and of course yourself. And then you come in and out of this whole paddock. The little sofa areas, you have a layout of the track, so you can get an idea of what it looks like. You can see that massive long main straight before getting into the first main corner section, and that back straight going up into the very technical section of the track where all the elevation changes happen. It is an insane track, but a bit dangerous because there's not that many runoffs, and if you do mess up, you're pretty much in the barriers. All right, we'll say bye-bye to the Porsche for now, and we'll head down the paddock here into the bottom section where all the actual school cars that Magarigawa have, that also double up as kind of lead cars when people do the parade laps, and kind of like circuit experience are laid out. There are 4 Hachirokus and a Cayman GT4, and over here another Hachiroku. And next up is we'll go inside, take a look at the main entrance, and I'll give you a final view of what the club actually looks like from the inside. Alright, so as you exit the paddock area, you go through this access door here, which takes you into the main entrance area where the reception is at Magarigawa. It's equally beautifully laid out as pretty much everything else around here, with this massive art piece hanging from the ceiling. And they even have a little shop selling all these Magarigawa branded goodies. You got driving gloves, even driving shoes, little bags, special Magarigawa chocolate, right down to some shades. So one thing I want to show you guys is a room that I ended up spending a couple of hours in last time, well, the first time I visited Magarigawa. So you go down here and you have this really nice lounge, where the thing that will suck up all your afternoon are these simulators. They actually have the Magarigawa track, proper simulator, might I add. So you can come here, practice, learn the track, and refine your skills before heading out on track and doing it for real. Really nice kind of like lounge room here. They have a mahjong set. And over on this side is the karaoke room, laid out with all top class drinks and a nice sofa area for you and your friends or family to enjoy a bit of karaoke time. All right, time to head upstairs and check out the rest of the facilities. As you walk up, you see the paddock area through the glass. Of course, there is some areas that I can't film at today Come here, the F1 race is actually being shown on TV. As you come up, you see the infinity pool, and members can enjoy during the day. Restaurant over there, bar area, and we'll go and check out the kids room, because when you bring kids to the track, you need to keep them entertained. So you can come in here and spend a bunch of time playing in this playground area. Of course, very much car themed. Bunch of books. And you can't see it now because it's nighttime, but there's a massive terrace out there overlooking the track. What an amazing facility. And since there's access opened even at night, you can go outside and check out the pool. All right, I hope you enjoyed checking out this rather unique and exclusive view at Magarigawa Club. I know a lot of videos will be done about this place, but I wanted to present you guys with a slightly different angle, and I hope you enjoyed it. And you know, I have to thank Magarigawa Club so much for allowing me to do this, and of course the owner for allowing me access to the villa and his amazing Porsche. And we even got to see a special NSX that hopefully we'll be able to feature in the coming months. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check back soon for more. There's a lot more coming from Japan.